so it should pop right up.
Oh, let me see. Singles Exposed Network, right?
Yes.
All right, yep.
Yep, it's on.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so just share it,
Perfect.
tag me in it. I'm gonna just say hello, hi guys, we're live. Please like and share the page. Welcome to Single Exposed Network. I'm so excited about what we are about to talk about, the things that we're gonna try to get into today. I am your host, Iasia,
I am Twine.
and you guys can introduce yourselves.
Oh, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
They
I'm
got me
Brandy
working.
Chase.
I'm Jeremiah Chase.
Yes, and who we have here in the middle?
This is Liliana Chase.
Liliana
Yes,
Chase.
Liliana Chase. She is on the podcast Single Exposed Network. She
Yes,
is
she
not
is.
available, just to put that out there.
That's right.
But
Never available.
never available. Okay, you don't want to mess with her. Okay. So I want to say, so I started something new today. I have this little jar that I have. We had questions before on a previous podcast that we had created some questions for the ladies that was on Spin the Wheel. But I threw some questions in there. I wanted to make some particular questions for the couple, but didn't have time. But I do have some questions in there just in case we get into a place. But I really believe that this is gonna flow. So if we want to pick a random question, that's what we would
That's
do.
what we gonna do.
That's what we're gonna do.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And just welcome to Single Exposed Network. Just to tell you something briefly about the network, we started off, I know you asked me earlier, 2 years ago, and God placed it on my heart to start a network to bring singles together to show them or spread wisdom on how to be single and healthy. Because we all be in a place, but we don't know like how to do it. We don't know how to date. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to. We don't know the red flags. You know, where it's like, okay, maybe he's not the one, or maybe she's not the one, and we just continue on in this whole cycle. And then most of us have trauma. And we don't know how to deal with that. So we created a family that we can come together and share wisdom, insight, encouragement, and so we can be healthy. And so that's where Single Exposed Network, that's the history of it. And just wanted to put that out there. So let's get right into it. Yeah. Look, Jeremiah's like, I'm ready.
Best
Okay,
part.
when I say he's very serious. All right, so
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I just been thinking.
so the title of it is that you guys have gotten married, right? Being a virgin. So tell me the first thing. How did you guys meet? How about that?
She
I
answered
read
the
the story.
She's like, good question.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we met on, basically, we met on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We had a podcast about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, and just like a side note, like social media, like a lot of things, like God gave man the knowledge to create.
Yes.
So everything ain't the devil.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
but what the devil does is he perverts a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, so how we met on Facebook was, it was 2017. I had a men's talk show called Gentlemen's Club, Real Talk, G Club RT for short. This was before the Sesquipulli Wild Ministry. This was before a lot of stuff. This was like I was 25 when I started this. God released me to start, like, you know, I was released to like do my own thing, stuff I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Carl Morris and the Urban Arts Gallery in Philadelphia. So we would shoot our show there every Monday night at 9 p.m. So I met Brady's best friend, and she was rehearsing there before me and my guys came in. So apparently I ended up like, cause I was doing photography at the time, like doing like a shoot for their like upcoming play that they were doing.
Yeah.
So she found out what I was doing. So she was like, look, like I got a show. I had a radio show. I want you guys to come on. So I was like, okay, cool. So she said, yeah, I know you guys do your thing tonight. So I'll share it. So she shared the show. So everybody that newly watches the show, I will go in like, yo, thanks for watching. What would you, what you think about the show?
Yeah.
So, and that's how I met her. But I would do that for a lot of people. Like I have a close friend out in New York. That's a female that I met through that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, to everybody, no, I wasn't thirsty and nothing like that. I did it for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, everybody was special. Not just right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's how we met. That's how we met. Because we talked through that.
Yeah, because when my best friend shared the live of their men's group, I was like, oh, 3 black men doing something cool, like not freestyling in the street or like looking crazy, like unfortunately we have this common image that we're always on the internet looking crazy. So it was just like, oh, it's like 3 black young men like actually talking about something, and it was just a random scroll. Like my girlfriend never texted me. Was like, hey, check out these dudes. I met this guy. I literally was just like, oh, what's she sharing? And then I interacted. Thanks for watching. And then from there, it became like best friends. Like it actually went like family best friends. Like because we're 8 years apart.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was like, ooh, it was like nephew, his auntie. Like it was never initially like, let me look at his profile because his profile had 3 guys on there. Yeah. And then when I first seen the live, it's 3 guys. So literally, I don't even know who I'm talking to. Right. Because it's 3 guys. And I didn't go as far as looking at his profile to see, well, why are the 3 guys whom I'm talking to? Because I was just casually I wasn't investigating. It was just like, hey, Facebook guy. Cool. Right. Next.
Facebook guy,
Yeah. So it was a really organic build. Between us, it was nothing, because I came from a relationship when I was just like, I'm not dealing with younger guys. Right. So not even knowing how old he was, that was just something I was in my mind, like, not dealing with younger guys anymore. I get approached by younger guys all the time because I don't look my age. I'm 38.
Right.
So thank you. So it was for whatever reason, God never had that pattern that is very common. It's nothing wrong with that. People of the opposite sex just automatically have that thought, like, let me see, is he single? Is he? It was never the pattern of wonder if we would ever. It was just like, hey, this
looking a little shocked with his
this
answers.
the homie. It's the homie.
He's shocked.
I'm chilling.
He chilling.
Yeah.
So it was a continuance. Basically, you kept watching the show as it kept airing.
Yeah, and then I would be the sharer. I was
she would share.
I would share all the time because it was like,
wow.
It was a really cool thing where it was just like, they're not on here just talking about who's the best rapper in 2000 and whatever. Like, it was a lot of interesting topics that they had. And I'm like, this is really cool. So I'm just like, look, other black young men, look what else you guys can do. Like, so I thought it was a really encouraging thing. So,
we had a good handful of people that supported us. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just like she was the only one. Like I can name drop right now people that really had our back during that situation. You know what I'm saying? Aaron, Sedaria.
Shout out.
Hey, it was like a lot of other people. So it was
Felicia.
just like people. Felicia.
That's my best friend.
You know what I'm saying? Carl Morris, Stephen Gardner, Childhood Loss. He was
Bilal.
actually one of our sponsors. Bilal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we really had like some people that really like supported us with what we were doing.
So I was probably like one of the last ones to support it because I was all late. Like he's been doing what he was doing.
So
I was doing it for a minute.
So when did it come a time where it just clicked?
That's where I was going.
Right, I know, right? Because I had asked myself that one time. Like,
when did it happen?
Exactly.
Fall upon you one day?
Yeah, like when did this shift happen? Like, and then it was literally all of a sudden for me, like on my end, because I like friendship to me is so valuable, like
Yes.
super duper valuable. Like, and I would always say, like, I don't even have a small circle. I may have a line of people that I really have
Right.
close to me. That's how much I value friendship.
Yes.
So, with our friendship developing, the key thing that God allowed me to see about him was consistency. As a friend, like there was never like anything I had to question, even just as a friend. Like he
Wow.
was so consistent, so genuine, and it was a relief as a female. You know, as females,
Yes.
we're guarded when we make male friends,
Right.
and I have a lot of male friends, so it wasn't an abnormal thing to have a platonic male friend, but it's
Yes.
always like, for the most part, with all humility, they always fall in love with you.
They
And
do.
then you be like, and it gets all weird. And it's like,
Yes, and it gets
dang, you was
Yes.
really
My
the
friend, the homie.
Yes,
You
and
messed
now
that
you
up.
done came out and crossed the friend line.
I
And
know.
I'm like, now it's weird.
Did it shock you with his maturity and his consistency for his age?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. I feel like I don't think I was shocked. I just was like,
Didn't wanna date
I was
younger people.
appreciative. I
Wow.
was just like, dang, like this man, like he's a man. Like he not even like young boy. Like even
Yeah.
that I knew his age, I couldn't even be like, yeah, it's this young boy. You know, he one of my friends. And like it was like, yo, it's this guy, it's this man. Like 'cause
Yeah.
that's how he carried himself, and he
Wow.
carried himself as a man like that to every female. Like making sure someone gets off the curb, walking them to the car,
Yes.
groceries. It's not just because he's attracted to the woman, it's because
Right.
that's how he carries himself as a
That's
man.
how he is.
Wow.
He opens the door for anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get to the car first, and we'll leave from the oh, let me walk so and so to the car, as you should. It's a woman, she's by herself, it's getting dark. Like I'm not that one, like, oh, hurry up, like,
Right,
because
right.
that's how
You
he
have a lot of
was
them.
Yeah.
originally. He wasn't like that
Right.
just for Brandy.
Right.
He's like that because that's how Jeremiah is.
And I think you being the
I
way
love
you are
that.
actually helps him be a better man, because there's a lot of women that wouldn't accept that.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
us
Wow,
going
I
to go
love
open
that.
doors for another woman or walk that woman to the car.
That's
and
Oh
things
right.
like
yeah,
that. Yeah, so
that's true.
I think your pairs matches.
Yeah. So what gave you that? Did you already have that confidence before Jeremiah? Like, or did you like? Was it him like reassuring you that that's just the way he is?
Yeah,
That
because
type of confidence.
Fortunately, I grew up with a brother and a father, so I was definitely aware of how, as a woman, to carry myself
Yes.
and how to receive how a man, reacts to a woman, whether
Yes.
it's platonic or romantic. You can tell the difference, but it's like even when he did those things, I was never like, he trying to be all extra. Look at him trying to. You trying to like, okay, I can get the door myself. It was like, well, cool, yeah. Like, and it was a sense of security too,
Yeah.
because most of our friendship bonding was him, me meeting up with him in the city from Philadelphia. He's from Philadelphia. I'm from Jersey. So I would
Yeah.
come to Philly, and he'd be like, B, let's go walking here. So we would walk the city,
Yeah.
and like him, because of how he carried himself as a man and how he was for me as a friend, I never felt like I felt safe. I was able to let my hair down and just have fun and just
Be you.
enjoy what we're doing rather than being guarded and
Right.
watching myself and if he was to make a gesture with his arm, I'm not flinching like what you
Right.
what you doing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was just I was comfortable, completely comfortable.
You like that? Then why you out with the
Why
kids?
you out with
Yeah.
it? You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, you got certain women who are
Yeah.
still digging
Yeah.
with triggers,
Yes,
dealing
they
with triggers, and they think they can try to work through it, but
Right.
it's
right.
not like that clearly.
Not like that.
Wait, did you answer the question?
No, I did not.
When did
Okay,
the click come?
so the click, the switch that
Yeah.
came. I believe it was one night, and I'm like, is it because what he had on? But anyway, it was one of his shows. It was one of his shows that they interviewed a young lady. She was like super attractive too, like long hair, like she was right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and so then I noticed like all three gentlemen came in. Like usually they be looking like this on every show.
Every other week we
And
would dress
then-
up.
No, well,
Oh
whatever.
my God.
So I must not have been keeping up with the weeks, because out of nowhere this week when Big Booty Judy came to the show,
Come on now, Big Booty.
they had the button up, the tie, the vest.
They was
Everybody
lit.
was edged out, and I'm sitting here like, what in the what? Okay. think God was like, it's time to take the veil off so you can actually
Wow.
see what you're attract. Cause I never like it. Stuff started coming out. Like I'm like, oh my God, his eyes are so pretty. They're brown and they're
Started
so.
noticing every little
Look at
thing.
his shoulders.
Mhm.
Look at his arms. I'm like, what's happening to me? Like, no. Like I'm now that guy. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
like I'm
God.
trying to come out the friend zone. Like,
Oh my goodness.
no. Yeah, but I still didn't share my feelings with him because I didn't feel like I had that right. I was like, okay, first of all, God didn't give me permission,
Yeah.
and He did give me permission to be His friend, and that's
Right.
all I knew. So instead of ruining something that was so freaking dope
Yeah.
because of my feelings, you know, I'm like, he may not even have the same feelings, and I'm gonna mess this up, and this is gonna be so corny, and this is like the
Wow.
most bomb friendship I've ever had. And if
Right.
I could have the friendship, I am keeping it. So I was just like, child, let me just be quiet. What up, dog? Like I didn't even like, and I fought myself trying to be cute the next time I saw him. Like, no, Brandy, you're not wearing lipstick. You're gonna be the homie like you always been. Because if you start doing extra stuff, he gonna start noticing. So
That
just
is
calm
so
down.
funny.
Yeah.
The reality is that men don't need women to wear that stuff.
We
Yes.
don't.
Like honestly, I was talking to my matter of fact, I was talking to Chris,
Mhm.
and we was like, and we had a conversation, and she was like, "Yo, like, I was talking to the old boy the other day, and I had the bonnet on." And I'm like, see, I'm telling you, like, that's not,
We
The
like
whole-
the naturalness.
like,
Goodness.
it, like, come on. Like, I'm not about to compliment you on your lipstick. I'm
That's
not
right.
doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like, all right, hair, probably,
Now,
but
Right.
it's like, maybe you may be doing too much with the, and it's kind of like,
Right.
look, I actually want to see you.
Yes.
I don't want to see
There you
Sephora.
go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to see all that. I don't want to see, it's funny. My mom would say, a clown.
a clown.
My goodness.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's just like, look, like, and also, like, I also wanted to drop that, because you have, like, the bro zone, you have, like, the sis zone. The only person that's able to get you out of that zone is God.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't leave that zone
Yeah.
That's right.
without God's permission. You
That's
know what I'm
why I
saying?
stay
Because
here.
sometimes things can just pass by through. When I noticed that I really to start to like Brandy, I would literally, what I did with her, I never did with any other woman in my life. I never asked God for permission.
Mm.
Wow.
I never got his yes.
Mm.
I never went to him first. I would literally take control. I would kiss the girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then I would ask her to be my lady, whatever that,
All backwards.
all backwards.
Backwards.
You know what I mean? You know? But
Yeah.
you better say yeah.
Because we
Because I just kissed.
Right.
What you mean I gotta think about it? You
That's
kissed
right.
the kid back. What you mean say no?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that is like the dysfunctional norm now. The physical comes,
That's right.
and
The
then
physical.
as women, claiming the emotional creature character, we're the ones that want to have the talk next day. So what are we?
That's true.
Even though I just opened my legs up, but what are we
Right.
today? Since,
Right.
since this happened,
That's right.
what
Since
are
this
we?
happened.
And
Now,
then
what are
dude
we?
is like, what we were before?
Wow.
Can we still
Same
be
thing we
normal?
was before.
After we just completely exchanged bodies, can we still be normal? And it's like, nah, that's not how that works.
Right.
Yeah.
That clearly falls into like our own decision making of why we waited for marriage,
Yes,
because that's
right.
a huge step.
It
Like,
is.
that's a
Yes.
huge
Yes.
step.
Yes.
Yeah, so like, well, to go back to what I was saying real quick, I literally, like, I asked God, I was like, God, is it okay if I take Brandy here? Because we went out different places, whatever. It wasn't like we, like, went on dates or nothing like that. Because we don't, because we didn't believe in dating. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was just like, I wanted to take her somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
You wanted to take her
Like-
on a date.
No, I
But just
wanted
somewhere.
to take her somewhere. It wasn't like necessarily a date. Technically, you might say a date, but it wasn't on that type time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was
It
just
wasn't-
like this is
Yeah.
still your friend.
Friends.
Right,
We're gonna
right.
hang out real
Wait,
quick.
so
Yes.
did y'all go places alone?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
saying like prior to that, you saying like you guys went places together alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we didn't. There was no conversation on how we felt about each other at this point. Because
Right.
from when we met, we didn't start hanging out till what? Like from the beginning of the year that we met, we started hanging out and really started getting close until like August, September. So it was like months that went by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
And it was a
I
lot
got
of
other
video
female
chat.
friends too. You know what I mean? So and I'm doing the men's talk show. I'm doing stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I
doing
mean?
stuff.
It was like I ain't really start hanging with B till like September.
But you was like even into somebody.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I was
into somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
into somebody.
Yeah, and I told her. She knew about it.
And I was like praying that it worked out. I'm
Yup.
like, come on, God,
Yup.
because it was like
Yup.
the I always call it the movie because of the story he shared with me. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this is a movie. So like, I would call the young lady like the movie, like, yo, did you hear from the movie? Like, you know, that was where we were. That was where we were.
yeah.
And then to put a pin in what he mentioned as far as like. I guess what men don't find attractive or don't really care about. Like
Yeah.
our video chats, I would legit be like looking crazy. Like if I was to call my girlfriend, like, hey girl, I want you to go over here with this hair, and I'd be trying to detangle all this, like right in front of him, looking a hot mess, like
Yes.
chilling, like
Right.
because that is fortunately where he let me allow myself to be comfortable because of how
Right.
much of a good friend he really
Yes.
was. Like
Yes.
it wasn't something where it was mixed feelings, a cloud. Like, and
Right,
when that
right.
shift happened, it was clear as day.
Yeah,
it was
it
just
was
like,
clear.
God was like, look at him a different way now. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking at him like that now. But am I, God? Like, and even when he told me to view him a different way, that didn't mean, Brady, go for it. And then make it all
Wow.
goofy. It was just
Yeah.
like, just watch him now in
Just watch him.
this lens.
That's it.
And don't go
Yeah.
nowhere. Still
Yeah.
sit your butt in the friend zone. So I'm with the friend zone sign, like, all right, let me sit back. You know, but yeah, it was transitions. It was times where I was like, yo, did you hear from homegirl? Do you think you'll ever see her again? Like, I'm praying and stuff.
Wow.
Then, like, the end of the result was like, God didn't clearly let that happen with him.
Wow.
No.
What happened to the movie?
It was look, that's a long story. But you can go to Amazon and get Virgin Men
book.
Do Exist. So,
It's in the book.
$15.95.
You better tell them. Make sure you tell them.
Hey, look, I'll do you one better. I'll tell you what chapters and you can skip right through it.
I can't.
So then, yeah, no, that was it was somebody that I met after a breakup, and I never forget. On my way to I never forget. It was I was going to the Spirit of Philadelphia. They had like a networking event there. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me check this joint out after work. So, and I remember I walked my way down there after work, and I was like, God, my next. I was like, God, I don't want any more girlfriends. I said, the next young lady I meet, I said, she's gonna be my wife. And that's when I met that young lady. But clearly,
She wasn't your wife.
she's not here. Right. You know, she wasn't my wife. She was a wife, but she wasn't Jeremiah's wife.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So just to share, people are wives and husbands.
They
Yes,
are.
yes.
But
they
they
are.
Just
not
not meant for me.
Aren't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because some people really will come in your life, and one thing about that situation, I didn't really ask for permission for that
Okay.
to, you know, at a time where I should have, but everything about that relationship was dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, a saved young lady, everything, you know what I mean? But in the end, I went through like it was a different kind of heartbreak. And I was like, yo, this was crazy. It was crazy.
Wow.
But the story is too long. I can't tell you.
Okay.
It's going to be like,
It's a good story, though.
we're going to be sitting for a while.
Good. You're gonna have to get the book.
We're going to have to get the book.
What's the book called again?
Virgin Men Do Exist.
Virgin
Okay.
Men Do
Yep.
Exist.
And I
You
think
can
that
get it on
chapter is
Amazon.
called the movie too.
You can go
It's
on
called the
Amazon
movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
and get his book called The Virgins Do Exist.
Yes, the Virgin Men.
Virgin Men Do
Virgin
Exist.
Men Do Exist. $15.99. Support.
$15.95.
Yes.
$15.95.
It's all yeah.
5 cents short.
They'll figure it out. Just go to Amazon.
Yeah.
Skip to the chapter called the movie.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm all, you know, you got to skip, but it's other good stuff in there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I can't.
And that was a good achievement to write a book, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
Super
it
proud.
was. It was. It was. Shout out to my sister for a long time, Tiffany Purnell. She was my book coach.
Shout out.
she
And our
hit me
wedding
up.
coordinator.
Yeah, and our wedding
Awesome
coordinator.
wedding coordinator.
Yeah, awesome
Nice.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we she hit me up, was like, yo, you try she's you try to write a book. I'm starting this this little
Book
coaching
coaching.
class. Yeah, so
Wow.
I was like, man, you know what? Because I never wanted to write a book. I'm like, everybody coming out with a book, man. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to do that.
Right.
But then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna talk about my story.
Yes.
And then I did that
Yes.
joint. Then
Story is powerful.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because Session Widowa was like, we started in 2018. Well, the God gave me ministry 2018. So, no, he gave it to me at the end of 17. 2018, we did our first event. So, the ministry was always growing. So we had a nice following, and people just wanted to know more. So, I'm like, all right, let me finally write this book.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we discovered we were virgins by just regular conversation.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even. He said I said something that made him ask, like, "Are you a virgin?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because for me in my world, it was like the whole high school knew I was one. Like me and my best friend,
Right.
she got married before me, but like we were the only two virgins in high school, and people accepted it. Like I didn't like hide it, and I wasn't embarrassed about it.
Yeah,
so I
me
got
too.
respected for it. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
But even in that walk, trying to still figure yourself out as a young lady, trying to live holiness as a lifestyle, and then you have like high school and peers, prom,
Right.
boyfriends. You want guys to like you, but then
Yeah.
they're not gonna like you for long because they're gonna not wait that long. So
Right.
that's a whole another story. So, but then
Right.
going up, speeding up to meeting Jeremiah, and then even having that shift, then it was like, all right, cool. Like, I don't have to be guarded and wonder like, how long is he gonna wait? Because my mistake was agreeing with men waiting for me and not waiting with me, and that was like the golden ticket, right? Yeah, it was like he had his reasons, I had mine. Neither one of us had to convince, like, oh, well, your body's a treasure. Like, what are you doing? Slow down. Like, it was like,
Exactly.
it was just like, yeah, I never had sex either. Me neither. What's your reason? This is my reason. This is my reason. So it was like, that was
Wow,
another
that's
cool
awesome.
conversation that
Yeah.
organically happened between us. And it was like, oh, cool. Like, we're both virgins. That's awesome.
But I'm gonna add that when you are a virgin that's waiting over 20 years old,
Yeah.
People will, especially the ministry that I was doing,
Yeah.
like I knew Brandy when I started the ministry, but we haven't known each other long,
Right.
right? So I'm going in on Facebook just about stuff. and
He
whatever.
hype. I'm like,
Right. So people are like, I was getting comments on posts like, yo, like I want you to meet my niece. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to meet your virgin niece.
yeah.
Because I'm a virgin. Like, stop trying
my
to stick.
goodness.
Oh, just because somebody's a virgin, I'm a try to hook him up with another virgin. I'm gonna try to hook her up with another virgin.
Wow.
Now, look, granted, here's the thing. Now, this is where things kind of get weird. A person would think, well, if you're a virgin, would you want to be with somebody a virgin? All right, yes, right? If it's God's will. No, if it's not His will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, for me, it didn't matter whether I wanted God's best for me. Whether God's best for me used to be a prostitute, or God's best for me saves herself for marriage, or not even a prostitute, just somebody who had sex already. You know what I mean? It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, look, I want God's best for me, and I feel like people's preferences, they get in the way of God's promise.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a preference because I was just like, I don't want to have both of us wondering what to do on our honeymoon.
That's right.
So I'm like, hopefully I'll get a good teacher. But then I'm like, that was it. And then it was different phases. It was like,
Yeah.
I need somebody to teach me what to do. We're not going to be sitting here with the book Sex for Dummies on our honeymoon, just not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And then as I, gradually matured more before even meeting him, it was like, yeah, just whoever I'm supposed to be with is whoever
Right.
I'm supposed to be
That's
with.
right.
So then it was even more acceptive once we started courting. Of course, you get a million responses from the internet. You got the, that's awesome, we did it too. And then you got the, y'all gonna
Yes.
look stupid on the honeymoon. And then it's, y'all lying. Somebody in a like, you
My
get all kinds of feedback.
It was a viral picture that went.
It went
that
everywhere.
I posted. It said 28 and 36-year-old virgin with our picture, right? And cause I'm gonna make posts all the time.
Yeah.
But this post went viral on Facebook and it went viral on Instagram. And it now here's one thing. The good will always outweigh the bad.
Wow.
And even though there are many negative comments, there are so many overwhelming positive comments.
Yes.
You know what I mean? People are like, oh, y'all gonna look stupid on the honeymoon, but clearly Adam and Eve figured it out, and clearly we did too.
That's right.
Fruits.
Like we
That's right.
figured something out, right?
Say
So
yes.
You figured it out.
you know, so
Yes.
yeah, it's a awesome test. I honestly cause I was like, yo, I can't wait to have sex, right?
Right.
So I can tell people like, yo, waiting works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't
Yeah.
rush to wait either,
Right.
cause some people they rush to wait,
Mm.
so then you're not waiting.
Right.
Like you were impatiently waiting,
That's right.
you know.
Right.
And it's like, yo,
Right.
like you can't rush. It's impossible to rush God,
Right.
cause God just
He
going.
gonna do what he wanna do.
God gonna be like a brick wall, and then you running into the wall, then you going the other way, you doing your own thing.
That's right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it you know, people always try to look at virginity and they also think that virginity equals purity.
It always
And it
gets looked
doesn't.
at negatively, and I wondered why all the time. Being
What?
a virgin.
Yeah. Why is it
I
a
hate that.
negative thing?
It shouldn't be
I know
negative.
why.
Some people
do
think that, all right, I'm 25,
Right.
I'm still a virgin.
I ask you
Yeah.
that. Hard growing up. You had to pick your friends wisely. She don't want to clown you, or
Well, you know
joking
what?
around with you. But your real friends wouldn't do it.
That wasn't my life though.
That's right.
Like here's the thing, like my homies knew that I was a virgin, and like Brady said, it's like, yo, like I got respect for that.
God,
My
respect.
homies will pull me to the side. They was like, yo, Chase, man, I really respect what you were doing or whatever. Cause I didn't really talk. I didn't have really a chance to talk about virginity, in school. Anybody asked me, or I wasn't trying to hide it either. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you
Yeah.
asked me, like a couple of my homies knew. They was like, matter of fact, I even had them in my book. I said if they know, and honestly, all of them knew.
Mm.
All of them knew. Cause we did have that conversation, and it's just like, yo, like honestly, like the way I carried myself, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna be me. I'm not about to let y'all. I was really mature at the age that I always been at, because it was like, look, I've seen what things get other people. I'm not a person, I gotta learn everything on my own. No, I'm gonna sit under wise counsel.
Right.
I'm gonna watch a movie or something like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just
Right.
with a lot of things. Not just because honestly, my dad is a minister. You know what I'm saying? My dad's a pastor actually, and my I grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? 2-parent household. You know what I mean? My mom and my dad, they were virgins before they got married.
Wow.
You know, but they never told me that.
You didn't know.
Wow.
I didn't know.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I didn't know until I got older, but it was just like, I never had no conversation about girls, no conversation about sex. You know what I'm saying? And no shade to my parents,
Yeah.
but it was just like, I didn't have to talk,
You ain't
so
had to
literally it was
talk.
just all God.
I had to
Wow.
talk, but I had to talk because I got in trouble.
You had to talk.
Oh,
She
man.
got in trouble for being nasty.
I got in trouble. I did. I was
Playing house.
13,
Right.
14,
Yeah.
and at that time, shoot, that's what, the 90s. So we writing letters. I'm writing dirty letters because because I'm thinking that's what he wants. So whatever song I know that talk nasty, I'm re-putting it in the, because
Put it
that's
in the
what we
letter.
was doing. And that's as far as I can
Exactly
get.
what was
You
going
know,
on
my
back
first real French kiss was 13. So I literally grew up living as a kid. So I was just doing what I heard or whatever a movie was.
Right.
So I was writing nasty letters. His mom found the bag he saved them all. I'm like, you saved all of them? What the heck? Like, okay, I don't even want to know what you was
Yeah,
doing.
he wild, ain't he?
Like, his mom found him. He called me. When I promise you, my body left, my soul left my body. I was like, I'm telling on myself. Like, I'm gonna have to tell my mom. I told my mom. I was embarrassed. I was scared, and then she had to talk with me. She had to talk like, you're supposed to wait for marriage, right? And I'm like, oh, I ain't know that because none of the songs say it. So nothing on TV told me that. Like,
Except for the one
and
song.
clearly,
That's it.
I was nowhere like near reading the entire Bible. Even if I probably Christmas Story was the most I knew about the Bible at that time. So I'm just
Right.
like, oh, so we're not supposed to even have sex because marriage? I didn't know that. Like. Y'all like tell me. So, it's like now because it was exposed that I thought I was being grown. We had that talk. And I was like, oh, okay. And my mom showed me some scripture. And we didn't even have a church home. Like, God was already with me even then. Like, our family just was the family who just knew and respected God. We believed in Jesus. We believed in God. And that was probably as far as it went. Like, at that time, we didn't even have a church family. Or a church home or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was basically just something my mom just sat me down and talked to me about. And, then growing up, you learn spiritual consequences and natural consequences.
Right.
And I would always have to explain, like, we're not just virgins who believe in Christ are not just walking around like, no, I'm not going to be horny and have these feelings because God doesn't want me to have them yet until marriage.
Right.
I'm like, nah, like, it's because people are out here getting diseases. Half my senior class was pregnant. Some of them ain't even finished high school.
Right.
I don't want to get caught in trouble being bare. Like, these are practical reasons why I'm going to try to hold myself out. Like,
Right.
And at that moment, I literally was saying, I'm going to try. Like, I can't even tell you if I'm going to make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, God's grace covered me. I don't look down on no female who couldn't wait, who either didn't want to or did. Like, every human has the same desires sexually. That's how we're made.
Right.
But it's a choice of how you respond to it.
Choice.
Right.
It's a choice. So I never looked at a female because she didn't wait. Like, I was better. Because at the end of the day, the point made is virginity doesn't equal purity.
Yeah.
I could not be getting no booty, but I could be the most ugliest, mean person on the inside. That's not purity either.
Right.
Like, we're supposed to be reflecting Christ. That's just one of the ways of just being obedient and reflecting Christ.
Right.
There's a million other ways that reflects purity, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
Because that even you have to reflect purity even in your marriage. Like, you don't even get crazy and goofy after the wait.
Come
Like,
on
you
now.
still gotta maintain it
You
because
gotta maintain.
this is what he
third
orchestrated.
parties.
He orchestrated sex as a worship.
right.
Like, all of that is he's the blueprint of everything. There is no part where God didn't have a say-so or a design in it. This is completely him. Period.
You know,
I love it.
what people don't really think about when it comes to sex is like responsibility and results.
Right.
You know, I had one of my homies. I ran into him. We were talking in the sub, and we were talking about masturbation and stuff like that. Because I was an impure virgin. You know, I dealt with masturbation for a long time. Like that thing had me in a headlock. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, stuff. The things that the enemy perverts, those things become an addiction. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to him and he was like, yo, to be honest, I'm on my way to run something down right now. And I was like, all right, okay. So I was talking to him and I said, look, like, I know you about to do your thing, but I said, I want you to think about this. Because there are a lot of men who are mindful of what they're doing. They don't want to do it.
Right.
But the thing that they're trying to find is, all right, I need to find a great tool to stop. One is Christ, okay? Now, the tools that come with that too, that's in the Word, right? Now, it's an option if you want to practice those tools or not.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was talking to him, I was saying, look, think about all the women that you had sex with. He said, okay. I said, now think about those women. I think about the number. I said, think about how many times you had sex with those women. And I said, now the number that you need to think about is how many times you had sex with those women and how many times you had sex with a woman, and those number of times. Those were many times where you said yes to being a father.
Wow.
Every stroke was a yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every
Right.
nut that you busted was a
Yes.
yes.
To being a father.
You know what I'm saying? Now, apparently,
Never even thought
it's
about that.
it. You know what I'm saying? It because look, people don't think that sex comes with what comes with sex is responsibility and results.
And results.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's just like, look, all right, cool. And a lot of times people they you know, it's the average thing of, oh, well, we getting mad at the young lady. It's always the young lady in the church that gets the frown upon, you know, when she gets caught with the responsibility and the result.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's just like,
Always
look,
the one at
man.
fault.
You know what I
It
mean?
shouldn't be.
Yeah, and it's just like, look, like, where are we, you know, when are we going to come to, because men need to take accountability too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And not to say that men don't, because shout out to the single fathers.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Plenty of them out
like,
there.
you know what I'm saying? It's literally like
Stepfathers.
that whole, like,
Stepfathers.
yeah, like, that whole, the whole Tyler Perry thing, the, what is it called? The, when he would do, like, the play or the movie, like, when the mom was, like, on drugs and then the dad was left taking care of the children.
Right.
That's real. Because I met a dude like that. At
Solid.
the time, he was 29 years old.
Wow.
This was 2014. I was, like, I forget how old I was, but, yeah, I was, you know what I'm saying? He was 29. So, and he was like, yo, he was like, look, like, he told me, he said, my mom's boys, I mean, my boy's mom is on drugs.
Wow.
So I have custody.
Yeah.
Have to
You
take
know?
the responsibility.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, look, like, but a lot of times it's kind of like when men are doing the unordinary of what today's woman is doing, they don't get recognized for it. Even
So-
though I'm not saying give, you know, because he took the result and he took the responsibility.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
He
You
ain't
know,
on.
yeah, you know what I mean? Even
Without-
though he's doing what he's supposed to do, but it's kind of like that light no longer gets shined.
It don't get shot.
Or it's not even a light.
Because they say, like you said, he's supposed to do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but yeah,
When the
you know,
mother is the nurturer, she's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
The man is the backbone, the provider, the leader.
Yeah, and you know, unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of people that really believe in that. You know what I mean? And
Sad.
now it's like, oh well, these roles. So, all right, check this out. And I love how Miles Monroe places this. He said, God gave Adam one thing to do. He told Adam to go to work. He said he didn't tell him to pray.
Hmm.
He said go to work. He said keep and maintain the garden. Right?
Yes.
If you look up any major company, major cleaning or cooking company, right? People that think that women are supposed to be in the kitchen. Who are the top owners of those things? The men.
The men.
Some of the best cooks in the world are men. Watch this. Some people may get hurt by this. Some of the best hairstylists are men.
All day.
Yes,
I'll
it
say
is.
that
Really?
fast.
It is.
I'll say
The
that
best
fast.
hairstylists in the world
It
are
is.
men.
Men.
Really?
Braid, twist, do everything under the sun.
And
Yeah.
they're
Or men.
masculine. Let's be clear. Masculine
My
men.
next door neighbor has a
Men.
guy that come over and do her hair better than a female do. She go
Yeah.
with him every time she get her hair.
Really?
Yeah.
He do every hairstyle that you could think of.
Yup.
Sew-ins to everything.
And look, it's still what God said. That's still work.
And it works.
You know what I mean? Because honestly, technically, I'm trying to. All right, cool. Well,
It's a profession. It's a
let's.
job.
Right.
What exactly did God tell Eve to do? Because if He told man to work, what exactly was art? Cool, she was just supposed to be a helpmate, but it just well, I should say I don't like to use helpmate. I usually help meet. King James version, meeting somebody where they were. Adam was in the presence of God. Eve met him in the presence of God. Met him where he was. That's when people talk about like the unequal yoke relationships. Is like, yo, like you're in the presence of God and you're trying to pull that person in. You can't really pull that person to where you are.
That's right.
God needs to do that. You know?
Wow.
So
That was I'm glad he brought that up because that was another relief that I didn't feel like I had to do. Like even picking, allowing young men to come into my life and take up time that I should not have given them. It was a lot of work. Like it could have been a free meal. Like most of like, girl, yeah, let me just get a free meal. But it was like a lot of work on explaining how I'm living. Like, dang, I felt like it was like an interview.
Right.
Like I gotta convince you why I choose to live this way.
Wow.
When we could have been just talking about the movie we just watched, but now I gotta explain to you
Right.
why you're never getting any until we get
Yes.
married. Like, or any other activity I don't like, cause it wasn't just that. Like I was not the drinker. I was not the smoker. Like I can't call a bottle if y'all put it in my face. I don't know. Like, not saying I didn't try these things, but it was just something that it just didn't fit, even just because I didn't enjoy it. It just was like, I literally waited till 21 years old to be like, let me try this martini just because I'm old enough. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of things where they was like, so you don't do this, you don't do this, and you don't do this, and you don't do this, and you don't. What do you do? Your life sound boring. But I had the best childhood ever. I had the best teenage years ever. I had a blast. And I think that's why I was able to embrace my singleness the way I did too, because I wasn't so caught up in having a title and having selfies of me and another person all over the internet. I was just like, I'm enjoying myself. Like after going through the little handful of relationships I did have, I grabbed something from every single heartbreak. And I started to get to know myself a lot more, where I was always wanting to take myself out. I never waited for nobody to take me out. I got dressed like somebody was coming to get me, but I was starting the car. I was going to the restaurant. I was at the table for one. I was at the movies with the popcorn on this.
I hope y'all taking notes.
And it's so much fun because you get to know yourself, and then once you get to know yourself, you start to have a shorter list of what you're going to tolerate.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things you could just miss. Like, you don't even have to be like, girl, I should have, when I seen the yellow flag, when I seen the, it's like, all them flags, like,
that slow down sign.
yeah, like, you don't even got to give me the flag. Like, I see you acting a fool all the way over there. I'm going to make this left turn, and I'm going to get out the way.
Yeah.
So, singleness is not a negative word. It's legit what it means in some areas. Simplicity. It really is so simple to be single, and it's so much fun. And if you're not going to enjoy being single and enjoy being with yourself, why expect someone else to be able to enjoy you when you don't even like yourself?
Yeah.
Right.
You're dealing with your own insecurities, and then when you do get somebody who really is trying to care for you, you making them work way harder than what they have to, because you didn't go to therapy. So you want him to be your therapist. You want him to knock down the brick walls. You want him to fix all these triggers that had nothing to do with you and your daddy or you and your mom or all. Like, you can't put other people to work when they're not even responsible for that. It's no fun. I'm not about to sit here and you be on the couch every time and I'm taking notes on why you got a problem with the color yellow.
You helping somebody. You helping somebody.
Build yourself up before anybody else comes in your space. Like, enjoy your own space first. Be happy. Find that place to be happy with yourself first. And it has to start with Christ. It literally has to start with Christ, only because your identity is based on Him. Period.
Yes.
Like, if you don't know who you are in Christ, there's no confidence. That's why you are insecure. That's why you are piling all this makeup on your face, and BBLs are flying all over the place now. Somebody got a kidney stolen because they got a BBL. Like, you putting yourself in all these unnecessary obstacles because you don't even like yourself first. You don't even love yourself first. Like, you got to have that confidence. And at the end of the day, whoever God places in your life as a friend, as a romantic, whatever, they're gonna see what God sees in you, and that I'll tell you right there. That right there confirmed that he was supposed to be my husband. Because after being released to have those feelings, it was like, all right, so where do we go from here? Then he was like, all right, start listening to him. Start listening to him. Whatever God was telling me who I was, verbatim was coming from him.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pull it out of him. I didn't have to bring up conversations to be like, so what you think, what you think? This stuff was automatically just
Coming out.
I was like, I've never heard any man speak to me like this unless it was my father or it was it was God himself.
Right.
And that's where I was like, that's it. I didn't have to go all deep into a fast
You already knew.
nothing
You
like
didn't
that.
have to fast.
He did fast.
I
which was
fasted.
cool.
You
You know, he
I
had to find
fasted.
his answer his other way, but by the
I
time he
fasted.
came out of his peaceful consecration and stuff, and he was like, you know, God told me you're supposed to be my wife. I was like, duh. I'm like, I don't know who you thought I was gonna marry, because he already told me you were supposed to be my husband. Like,
Look at that.
and God told me by myself. Told him by no one ran, and there was like because God didn't tell me that yet, like, because you have those issues where
Yeah.
God told me, and then it's like that's not a confirmation for me, so now this is all weird.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and you know what? I feel like I want to touch this singleness thing, but I don't want to forget to say this. Sometimes it's like this confused confirmation.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna get back to that, but also I want to touch that. Like, all right, so singles are supposed to be married to God, right? And I believe that married couples are supposed to be married to God too,
Yes.
because married couples are supposed to be one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, but I feel like a lot of times, we divorce God when we do something that He hates, and you rely on God. So the Bible talks about how where there can be a time where like your relationship is basically trash with God, and He doesn't even hear you.
My goodness.
Because your heart is like garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those prayers that you're praying, He don't hear them. You know what I mean? He'll hear you once you become pure.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and just honest.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like a pure heart. Clarity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like how this water is
Clear.
clear. You know what I mean? It says purified drinking water. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you gotta go through that process. What process do you gotta go to be clean? You know what I mean? Like what process you gotta go to in your singleness, right? To clean. You know, like you're not just doing this just for marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't even
that
think
out.
about
Yeah.
marriage
Yeah.
right now.
Take
Right?
that out.
It's just about your
You.
first
Yes.
marriage. When
Yes.
you said I do to Christ.
Yes.
Right? You said I do to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, look, like, all right, cool. And that's the one thing that people that's the thing, not people, but that's something that God will look for. That's something that God wants, you know.
Yes.
But you do have three choices, right? You got the people's choice, you know, and
Right.
that's kind of self-explanatory what the people's choice is, what everybody thinks you should do, whatever. Just in life, it doesn't
Right,
matter
right.
what it may be.
Right.
You have the good choice. The good choice is usually like your choice,
That's
right?
it.
You like, yo, you know, like so and so has nice teeth. Yeah, them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you have God's choice. But the choice is yours.
Choice is
Right.
always yours at the end.
You know what I'm saying? Because
That's
you
right.
know, look, you still got free will.
Always.
Go ahead, do your thing. You know what I mean? Look, now, when you doing your thing, go ahead. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing I can do. Ain't nothing we can do. That's right. Ain't nothing we can do about that. You know what I mean? But that confused confirmation, I've been in situations where somebody like, I think this is my wife.
Yeah.
We both think that we're supposed to be married.
We all been there.
Yeah. And I feel like that comes from, because I strongly believe that God won't wait to the last minute to show you a sign. Since we talked about red flags earlier,
Yeah,
right?
definitely
You know,
I had discussed about God will give you a red flag, then He'll ultimately give you a stoplight. Just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Stop.
You know, we like to ignore signs. We like to create illusions
Yes,
to
we
be
do.
that color,
Yes, we
green.
Talk to
do.
him.
You know?
Yes.
And you know what? And sometimes like God will be like, "Yo, all right." It's like just think about traffic, right? Just think about all right, road work ahead, slow down. Did you look at any kind of the signs?
Did
Slow
you,
down.
did you look?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
did you pay attention? But sometimes a lot of people, you could look up YouTube videos where people kept speeding through road work and what happened to them.
That's true.
And be mad at
You
the
know?
city, blaming the city.
Mad at the city
warned
or
you
literally,
already.
right, that's right.
literally going to go see the king,
Yeah.
going to see this light. You like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, look, like if you don't look at obey the first light, you gonna see a light. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It'll be the light you want
You're
to
right,
see.
yeah.
You want to see one.
Yes.
You know, so it's and honestly, a lot of that stuff is just it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
You not living your life like the way that you supposed to. Like some of us, time is ticking, and
Time
God
is
is like,
ticking.
"Yo, you do it one more time,
My mind.
and I'm calling you home.
If you going.
If you going home,
My
If you
goodness.
know.
That decision
I'm
still
telling you.
pending. Like at this
you
point,
will never know the number.
he
Like,
either gonna call you or he
Yeah.
gonna let you end up
The
going
only thing
somewhere
that's
else.
guaranteed is your expiration date.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You know.
Yes.
And you know, and nobody knows the day, the hour when Christ is coming back.
Yeah,
Nobody
no
knows the day
way.
or hour when you gonna leave this earth too.
It's true.
So it's just like, okay, God, since I have the opportunity to get right with you now, let me get right with you now. It's bigger than dating. It's bigger than courtship. It's bigger. It's bigger than marriage. It's
Yes.
bigger than your spouse. When we did Battle of the Sexes with shout out to Erica
Montgomerys.
and Brian Montgomery from Texas, they came to Philly and did a Battle of the Sexes for the marriage couples.
Couples.
And I asked a question. It was like a random question. I was like, do you guys believe in like, spouses not making it into heaven? Like together, like, because
Yeah.
there are a lot of households where people, so and so
Yeah.
got this relationship with God,
Yeah.
and so and so
No.
else don't.
It's
Yeah.
so don't.
And my boy Kyle, he said, look, like my grandma used to always say, you cannot piggyback your way to heaven.
Yeah.
My
You know what I'm
goodness.
saying?
Yeah.
And that's a really
Nobody's married in heaven.
right. You know what I'm saying?
That's,
So
that's on you.
yeah,
Right.
that's the, you know what I mean? It's
It's
like,
on you.
Yeah.
it's always the, oh, well, I go to church. Oh, well, I got baptized, but are you saved?
How you see?
Yeah.
Are you saved?
That
Like,
comes in
and
action.
are you practicing? Like, here's the thing though. Do you have a pure heart? And are you really giving God your best?
Right.
Am I giving God my best? Am I really doing the work to the full extent? What if we? I was asking a question too. Like, what do you make to heaven? Like, yo, all right. God's like, yeah, well, you made it. But I wish that you could have did everything that I asked,
Wow.
and not just
Some
Ski,
been
Julian.
a surface level Christian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I don't just want to just make it to the kingdom.
My
Just
God.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want, like, without a doubt. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, ain't nobody trying. Like, that's scary. That's scary.
Yes.
Heaven and hell is real.
It's super
It
real.
is.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, yo, like, I was at a singles event. It was like a joint marriage singles event. Joint singles and marriage event. And two things. It was one thing that I heard there that was great. It was one thing that I heard that was, nah, I shouldn't think that you guys should be singing this right now. But I'll say the great thing first. The great thing first was a young man. He was saying that he said that he would like deal with lust or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who hasn't dealt with lust?
Right.
Right. So it's just like he was like, but God checked him one day. And he was like, look, like that's my daughter. And you are his son. So it's just like you gotta think about it. Like, yo, like, yeah, you know what? That is God's word.
Right.
So let me not do this.
Right.
The other thing that I thought that was that will remain nameless.
Uh-huh.
Popular church in the city too. Popular church, and they the topic of porn came about, and the lady she raised her hand and she said, "Look, and this was an older couple, seasoned couple. She raised her hand and she was like, yeah, we watch porn in my marriage." And then the husband piggybacked and he was like, look, like, yeah, man, you know, yeah, we watch porn and then, you know, then it's watching us. But I'm like, the Bible talks about pornea.
It does.
So it's just like, what in the world? Like, only one thing should get you ready for your wife.
Oh my.
Only one thing should get you ready for your husband. You know what I'm saying? When you see them, that
You
right
should be
there
ready.
should be alone.
That should be
Enough.
Enough.
That should be enough.
But now Pornhub, so now you got another spirit in your bedroom, which you haven't, and you dealing with, and honestly, you guys are dealing with underlying things that you don't know where it come from.
I
Yeah.
don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm just like, and literally at this time, like I wasn't on the panel there.
You was on the panel.
I wasn't on the panel.
Okay.
I didn't. It was just I was going to support somebody that was on the panel.
Yeah.
Now it clearly it didn't come from them, but it was one young lady. She was like, "No, man, like that ain't. I disagree with that." But I was just like, the room was kind of quiet. I'm like, yo, you know what porn does to an individual?
Not even a couple.
But
just
do
a
they
group.
even? But
No.
because you may have said that they was seasoned. So
Yeah,
I'm
they were
trying to
old.
figure out if
They-
it's like it's not like they don't know, because they probably do know.
Well, I'll say this. I've said this a lot of times on my job, where we're always like discussing like there's a promotion coming up,
Yeah.
and the first thing unfortunately is like, oh well, so and so gonna get it because they've been here for 20 years,
Yeah.
and versus someone who maybe been there for 5 years, but their resume qualifies them for the job.
Right.
What I'm saying is someone could be doing something for years, but it
Yes.
doesn't mean they're doing it right.
Right.
They could be a scientist for years, but are they doing things? Are they discovering things right?
Yeah.
So it's like somebody could have a title or somebody could be doing something for years and years and years, but it's like, how have you been doing it for years? Has it been done correctly for years?
Right.
So
Right.
it's unfortunately we can't rely on the timeline of something. It's like, well, what are the fruits? And clearly that seasoned marriage has shown those fruits of what you guys are still not addressing and what
Right.
you're leaning into something else for.
Right.
So that's how I look at it.
Thanks for sharing. So wait. So
That was
listen, we ran out of time.
Oh,
Yeah, this was
Oh.
getting
Oh,
good.
y'all shared a lot. I know.
This was getting real good.
Y'all shared a lot. I had some questions I
I
wanted to
know.
pose. Even though they kind of hit some of the questions that was
Right on the
actually in
nose.
there.
Right
So
on
I
the
was like,
nose.
oh, okay, well, I can't ask that question because
Right on the
y'all kind of
nose.
just hit a lot of it. But we're out of time. Please, if you guys can give your information
Yeah.
so that they know where to reach you, anything that you may be involved in, doing, ministry, otherwise, just your social media, just give it a shout out before we close.
Yeah, so you guys can follow us at Sescom Widowile on Instagram, Sescom Widowile on Facebook.
Yes.
The next event that we do have coming up is our first men's retreat. So Sescom Widowile's Hey Bro, You Worth the Wait men's retreat, February
Nice.
24th to the 27th. It's gonna be dope. We gonna have fun. Maybe we may have too much fun, but it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to that. You can find me on Facebook, Jeremiah Chase. You can find my wife,
Yes.
on Facebook.
Brady Chase.
Brady Chase.
Mrs. B Chase.
Yes,
on
Mrs. B Chase on
Instagram.
Instagram. And yeah, so hit us up. Let us know, what you guys need. You can hit me up for counsel, advice, and stuff like that.
Yes.
Look, like our DMs are open. We don't charge for now. Say that.
And if you guys do have questions, I'm so sorry. I do apologize that we were not able to just recap your
That's
questions and your shout outs and things like that. But we will catch you on the replay. Okay. We'll be looking at those comments and questions, and we'll definitely tag our guests. And definitely, if you want to come on the podcast, please do so. You can hit us up in our DM as well at Single Exposed Network, and we're SEN Network on Instagram. All right, guys, we out of here. I know it was a lot. Please, if you have any questions or if you need any counsel, you can see that they are full of wisdom. Please reach out. All right, y'all. Bye.